I made an Instagram video the other day about the National Association of Black Journalists giving Stephen A. Smith a thumbs down. And immediately, my comment section was filled with a lot of dissatisfied Maga supporters. And I didn't even get into the hidden comment section. So if Instagram had to hide those comments, they were terrible. And all of those people, you can eat a fatty. Eat a big fatty. But what I found very interesting, and it's okay if people disagree with me, I have no problem with that. What I found that was interesting is how similar all the arguments were. So Stephen A. Smith ain't allowed to criticize black people. That's why black people are in the predicament they're in. Black people are still on that Democratic plantation. And after reading all that, I started thinking, why is MAGA so invested in defending our big ass head sports commentator? And Stephen A. Smith is definitely ours. And I know some people might disagree with me. Now, that can change, but I think he has done way more good than he has done harm to the black community.
We're moving in a reverse direction. Black men are not being treated fairly in the National Football League. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. You got to be kidding me. When the stuff that has happened over the last year, for this stuff to go on and we just gonna sit up here and have a sports conversation. No, I ain't having no damn sports conversation at this particular moment. Something wrong.
And for that reason, I'm not ready to throw him away. And neither is the National Association of Black Journalists, because that's what family does. When you get out of pocket, we chastise you so you can do the right thing by us.
You question, she's just there running her mouth. March 6, 2024 press release. Crockett secures $10.4 million for local projects in first package of government funding for fiscal year 2024. Representative Crockett championed funding for 11 projects that would directly benefit Texas's 30th congressional district under this bill. When you go on podcasts and you claim that all she does is run her mouth and she doesn't do any work, then when you have receipts showing the work, it's kind of like exposes you literally don't know what you're talking about.
So let's address the most common comment first. So Stephen A. Smith is only allowed to say positive things about black people? No, that ain't even the argument. Stephen A. Smith can criticize anybody he wants. Black people criticize black people all the time. Have you ever been to a black barbershop? Have you ever watched a Shannon Sharp interview? The issue isn't whether Stephen A. Smith can criticize black women. The issue is his pattern of criticism toward black women. His criticism of high-profile black women most always align with the talking points that are already popular in conservative media, which contradicts his view that he's both fair-minded and an original thinker. His pattern seems to be, I'm willing to call out black women who you've already decided you don't like. His arguments often feel like they're recycled conservative complaints other than substantive criticism of these women's views or behavior. And here's what I think is interesting. Don't just listen to what Stephen A. says. Listen to who is applauding him afterward. Let's put them next to each other. First, Jasmine Crockett.
Let me tell you what gets me annoyed. And I hope Jasmine Crockett is listening to this. By the way, she's welcome on the show. When you go on national television and you calling the president of the United States out of his name, and you're being all disrespectful, as a representative in this country, do you believe the citizens of Texas sent you there to do that? They don't like him either. I'm talking about those who voted for her in all likelihood. But because he is who he is and he is in that position, they expect you to go to Capitol Hill and figure out a way to maneuver yourself through that terrain to work in a fashion that's going to facilitate getting things done on behalf of your constituents. That's your job. That's your job.
Now here's Ben Ferguson on Fox.
Yeah, look, the Democratic Party's got a problem because they've basically taken a bunch of social media influencers that are really loud and know how to get like TikTok views and said, be a congressperson. We'll bring you up here. And they don't legislate. She's not representing the people of her district. She's never there and working with them. And again, she only wants to be on TV. She only wants to be viral. She only wants to call the president a POS.
Same people, same political complaint. Now let's do Joy Reid. Here's Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, she was fiery. Yes, she said some incendiary things that could have gotten the network in trouble on a couple of occasions. I'm not here to revisit all of that. All of that is true.
Here's Dana Loesch.
I can't believe she got a degree at Harvard. So between her and David Hogg, they're really knocking out some bangers up there. But also, I see you now why MSNBC fired her, because that's one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard.
Again, different messenger. Again, same frame. Now, Michelle Obama. Here's Stephen A.
To hear me utter a negative word about you, but I respectfully disagreed and still remain pretty salty about what you said about us. And I feel there are issues that matter to every American citizen. And to sort of blackmail us emotionally into trying to compel us to vote one way or another is part of what won Trump the election.
Here's Scott Jennings.
Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem, and you see the Democrats reacting to it. And no hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made.
Again, same frame. That Democratic messaging is pushing away young men. And then watch who's giving Stephen A. Smith the microphone.
Used to be a party for the working class, which the Democratic Party was once known for. They're not known for that right now. Why? Because their message was catering towards others.
He's the star of ESPN's First Take, Stephen. Okay. That background is your background. You can't help yourself. You are loving this attention. Oh.
Don't just listen to what Stephen A. Smith says. Listen to who is applauding him afterwards. Maybe you don't see a pattern, but I do. The National Association of Black Journalists do. Stephen A. Smith is free to criticize Black women, but it seems telling that Stephen A. Smith's criticism of Black women especially consistently reinforce talking points conservatives were already making.
And he's doing this thing that I think a lot of people really object to, which is he's trying to get credentials as a truth teller by bashing on people like Jasmine Crockett. And what he does is he allows white people to feel less racist about their racism. That's the thing, guys like Stephen A. Smith is drifting super close to Jason Whitlock territory.
With exactly the same audience receiving exactly the same applause. That's the disconcerting pattern that the NABJ noticed. That's the pattern I noticed. And judging by the conversations that are happening in Black spaces, we are not alone.